Good afternoon. My name is Pete Nelson. I'm the Executive Director of Ag Launch, and this is Jade Clark, our Director of Community Impact. And I want to welcome you to the 5th Annual Ag Launch Field Day and our first virtual field day. If you joined us this morning, you'll know this is our second farm tour. If you were not able to join us, we hope you go back and look at the stream from this morning. And if you don't already know, what Ag Launch is focused on is helping create and stimulate the farms of the future and to make sure that those are anchored in the communities in a transformational way. And the theme of the field day and everything we've talked about today is building in the face of uncertainty. And we feel like with a lot of the national issues that are going on, the global pandemic, that this is an opportune time for food and agricultural innovators to think differently and to grow and to really push farm-centric innovation. We do believe this is an incredible time for farmers and the communities they serve, and we think that we need to redouble efforts at delivering healthy food, leveraging new innovations, and seeking to rethink how our industry works. Today, you're going to hear a lot of different approaches and ideas, building off of some of the things we talked about this morning. And for us at Ag Launch, a farm of the future is not a one-size-fits-all approach, but is a way of thinking about farms, large and small, that brings value to the farmer, leverages technology, and creates local impact, and is focused on diversity. Since this idea started, we now have dozens of farmers in multiple states collaborating together on trialing new innovation and technology. But it's not enough just to support the farms. As we talked about a minute ago, those farms need to be centered in communities that are transformed through the impact of food and agriculture. So our work is concerned also with food justice, food access, economic development, and health outcomes. So I introduced a minute ago Jade Clark, our Director of Community Impact. Jade is a food scientist. She has a BS from University of Tennessee in food science. She then went on to spend over a decade of a career working for companies like Coke in product development and food products. Came back to Memphis 4 years ago to focus on building a nonprofit that would do contextualized learning around health and wellness around fresh food called Project Fresh. And we've been blessed to have her leading our efforts on community impact. So Jade, again, always great to work with you. Look forward to today.
Hi. As Pete mentioned, I'm Jade Clark, and I'm here with my colleague, Paul Kennedy, our field trial manager. Paul has a BS in agronomy from the University of Tennessee, Marlin. He's also the president of the Tennessee Ag Production Association, and he's previously held breeding and R&D and product management positions at Helena, Garth, and DeKalb. So we're here, Paul.
Well, thank you, Jade. Yes, as field trial manager for Ag Launch, I get the blessings of working with the farmers in the farmer network, and that consists of urban farmers like we have here at Greenleaf, as well as large or small row crop farmers out across the rural areas. And part of my position is to bring these two together with startups that have the technology and innovation that will bring new ideas and creativity to the farmers. And for the most part, this location that we're at today is very keen of an idea of what we are all looking forward to.
So we're here at Greenleaf Learning Farm in South Memphis community of Memphis, Tennessee. We have here Marlin Foster. Marlin Foster is the visionary and founder of Knowledge Quest. Knowledge Quest is the nonprofit organization that runs Greenleaf Learning Farm. This is one of many programs that Knowledge Quest offers to their community. Marlin is a pastor. He grew up in this neighborhood and still currently lives in this community. He's a graduate from Lemoyne, and he's been leading the charge in these efforts for several years now. We also have Theo Davies. Theo is the farm manager here at Greenleaf. He has an urban food system degree in anthropology from the University of Memphis. Fun fact about Theo had no production or food production experience prior to running this farm, and he's been running it for about 5 years now. So I'm gonna let these two gentlemen tell us more about Greenleaf Learning Farm, and we're gonna take a tour and see what all they have to offer over here.
Yeah, well, welcome to Greenleaf, and We're excited to be sharing and excited for Ag Lunch and all that we're doing here in the city of Memphis and our region, and excited for all of you and your participation. Welcome to Greenleaf Learning Farm. It's one of the signature efforts of our parent organization, Knowledge Quest, and USDA's certified organic operation since 2012. But our first community garden goes back to 1999, and we've just been continuing to progress from that time. There are a lot of our community matriarchs and patriarchs that actually helped to get this started. We started with two of our elders that had 100 years growing experience between the two of them. And after about 5 years, they began to hand it down to other, younger growers like Theo and others that we have on the team. So it's been a true community effort, and we just really try to look at agriculture as not only within itself, but as a means of how do we come together around intergenerational efforts of bringing folks together, coming together around community and economic development, and coming together around how we can really, literally prepare our growers of the future right here in an urban context.
Hi, I'm Theo Davies. I'm the farm manager here. I'm going to take this off. As they all said, I've been working here for about 5 years now. I started out as just the assistant grower. I was moved up to the farm manager shortly thereafter, and I've been growing everything here on the farm. It's about 2/3 of an acre inside this fence. We have about 2 acres total, including our expansion and the orchard. Everything, as Mr. Foster said, everything is USDA certified organic. We do everything from seed or start. We plant them all ourselves, harvest everything ourselves, sell it ourselves, and we provide right here for the neighborhood. People come up all the time asking for this, that, and the other, mostly green tomatoes and okra. And as long as we can provide, we're here to provide.
Cool. Well, let's see what you got here,
Sure. Yeah.
Theo. So as the farm manager, can you tell us a little bit about your day-to-day?
My day-to-day involves a lot of sitting around. No, I'm just playing. No, I come in every morning and I do a short walk around just to make sure everything is growing properly, to really also to assess what needs to be done on that particular day. If there's some plants that are experiencing a little bit more weed pressure, take care of the weeding. If something needs to be fertilized, we mix together an organic fish emulsion and spray it wherever it needs to be sprayed. Really, other than that, it's just tending to the plants. Tomatoes always need trellising, plants always need pruning, and we just interact with the people who come up to the farm and tell them all about the food. We harvest usually 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. We go to market on Thursdays, like today. We're at the South Memphis Farmers Market right here in the neighborhood. And every Saturday, every other Saturday, depending on how much we have, we go to the Cooper Young Farmers Market not too far from here. And we sell the produce as best we can. We inform people about where we're growing and why we're growing. We like to grow the produce because it's nice to have access to healthy produce, but at the same time we also grow right here in the neighborhood because of the opportunity to make a change in the the urban food scene here. It is a food desert by USDA metrics, so we try to keep that in mind while we're growing and selling, I guess. But yeah, like right now I would be pulling weeds and checking things out, so that's actually what I'm gonna start doing. We've been trying to keep the weeds over here a little bit lower because these rows were recently put in the winter. They were cinder block beds. They were 6 by 16 feet. They were taking up too much room and they weren't particularly efficient. So we just decided to dismantle the beds and put in these in-ground rows. Unfortunately, with that comes an immense amount of weeds that we have to deal with on a regular basis. There's also a lot of rocks. I have 2 harvests out here. I have one for produce and one for rocks.
Growing
And,
rocks.
it's just part of the job, I guess. Fortunately, there's not a whole lot of weeds anymore. We've been pretty diligent about picking them. Unfortunately, I still keep finding dead spots in the rows. I'm still trying to figure out why. But it's part of the process.
Theo,
Sure.
I have a question. It's, you know how we all are hearing more and more about sustainability
Sure.
and across the ag world and the U.S. What are some of the practices that you are implementing with sustainability here at the farm?
Yeah, so we've been, sorry, sometimes I get lost. So one of the big things that we've been doing is converting the irrigation system as a way to cut back on the amount of water we've been using. Currently we do have a spray irrigation system, and while effective, we lose a lot of water to drift. The water, it sits on top of the soil and the sun evaporates it off. It doesn't go deep into the soil where the roots can access it better. So we've been slowly converting our irrigation system to a drip system. We've done it so far in just the hoop house with some great success. We can go over there in a second and check it out. We're currently working on this area next. It's the easiest place that we can work on the irrigation system. There's only one spray head over there and over here that need to be converted, and we can run drip tape or drip line off of it and just save lots of money. Sir.
Another question
Yeah.
is concerning soil health.
Yep.
It's a bigger issue today more than ever. And I can see from your soils that you actually have increased your organic matter to a large extent. Could you dig down and show me a good handful of what you have in your base?
Sure. Let me
I'd like to discuss
move
how
over here a little bit. In fact, I'll even bring it a little bit closer.
Thank you.
Sure. You can't really make out a whole lot of what is left in the soil, and I think that's a good thing because it shows how old it is. But you can see there's still a lot of like root matter in here from previous plantings, some chunks of leaves, and you know we let a lot of the crop residue become the new soil. So you know whenever we have stems or maybe a piece of we had zucchini and squash growing over here, so you know if they fell off the plant and they didn't make it to harvest, then we just let it go back into the soil. We also use some cover crops, clover, rye. We've used hairy vetch, tillage radish, just as a way to, instead of using synthetic inputs, I mean, we can't use synthetic inputs because we're certified organic. So, you know, we have to have soil nutrients somehow, and the best way to do that is to let nature provide our soil amendments. So we use, you know, like I said, we use the cover crops like clover to put nitrogen back into the soil, and then before it goes to seed, we till it back under and let it decompose further. We'll use the tillage radish to bore holes into the soil itself if it's compacted, and then when the tillage radish breaks down, it just leaves this mushy, nitrogen-filled crop residue that we just work into the soil, and we let nature take over from there. We also do use the noxious weeds like Bermuda grass and Johnson grass. We will cover them over, which isn't the most sustainable thing, I guess, but it kills off the weeds that we don't want around, and you know, it just adds another piece of material for the plant to either leach nutrients from, or just something that adds to the soil structure itself to make it more aerated or hold water. So those are some of the soil things we do.
Well, I see that, you know, this is, it's labor intensive.
Yes.
And so what is your biggest challenges or some of your challenges that you meet in organic farming?
Weeds are the biggest problem. A lot of people think bugs are the big problem. The only crops we really have trouble with bugs on are squash, zucchinis. The squash beetle is particularly terrible, especially in June and July. But really, weeds are the biggest problem. We have a whole bunch. That's one of the biggest challenges, in my opinion, in living in, having an urban farm, is there are so many people around doing so many different things with their properties, because they're, you know, obviously they're allowed to do whatever they want with their house. But some people will grow things that are not good for a farm. And, you know, we deal with it when we can. And I think that given that we are an urban farm, we're able to do pretty well keeping the weeds down. It's always nice having those big volunteer groups come out and pick all the weeds for us, but you know, when they can't make it out here, especially right now with the with what's going on with the pandemic, we can't really have as many people out here as we'd like. But you know, we've bought a lot of tools, we've been bequeathed a lot of tools over the years that have really helped. The hula hoe is a great tool. I think that every farm should have one. And you know, the best tools we got are right here at the ends of our hands. So.
Cool.
Yeah, we can go over to the hoop house. It's a little bit more exciting in there.
And Theo makes a good point. We average about 500 volunteers on the farm, especially pre-COVID. And for us, we take our farm plan, and as Theo and the team has worked that out, we'll have other team members that work with volunteers where we will actually overlay our volunteerism to our farm plan. So everything from thousands of seed starts to the harvest days to, you know, everything, weeding, all of that is rolled into this kind of massive plan where we're really engaging hundreds of folks during the course of our season. Yeah.
The growth.
I love this.
So Theo,
yes,
tell us about some of the projects that you're working on. Are there
Sure.
any? I'm gonna let you toot your horn a little bit.
Good.
What are the projects that you're most proud of?
So this year we've had two projects. One of them is still ongoing. The first one that we did was in the late winter, January, February. We dismantled the cinder block beds out there, turned it into those growing rows. Took about 3 weeks to get everything just right. The other project that we have, we can walk by it later, is the fence bed that I'm building up there. But I'm particularly proud of the hoop house. At one point, it was just gravel in here. These tables were stretched from one end of the hoop house to the other. There was nothing growing in here. It was all gravel. We were using it as an educational space, but that was sort of it was kind of a waste of the space itself. So with a large volunteer group, we scooped out all the gravel and we redistributed it across the farm into the walkways. And then we had another group come in about a week later, and they dumped about 20 cubic yards of soil back in here. I converted the irrigation system. You can see along the sides and along the ceiling of the hoop house, we have spray emitters. They work for some stuff. We still use them occasionally, but I took it upon myself to put in a drip irrigation system, which is underneath the tarp. And we've been able to grow so many different things in here. We've grown squash, zucchini, sunflowers, tomatoes. Right now we have leafy greens, kale, chard, cabbage, some collard greens. In the spring, this is where we grew the celery. Only growers in Memphis who've grown celery for production. There have been some other ones do it for experiments, and they'll sell a couple heads here and there at the farmer's market, but we grew it for production. In these two rows over here, hundreds of heads of celery. So this has been, it's not really a project anymore. It was at one point when we were doing all the conversions in here, but it has really paid off in the long run. This is the first year that we've done really well with cabbage, and we've done well in here because we have the bug netting on the sides to protect it from pests. We have the irrigation system going down there, which feeds the water directly into the plant. This has been a really big boost for us. So very happy about this, very happy about that out there. I can take you to my other little project I'm working on. Like I said, it's a little incomplete, so there's quite a bit of work to do, but once it's finished, we're gonna have some really excellent plants. Just more plants for the farm. I think with the end goal of it is gonna be to grow garlic in it. We'll be able to grow a lot of garlic in there. We've only done garlic once. I was told by some coworkers that it was a fool's errand to grow garlic, that, you know, it costs too much to grow, it's too labor intensive, this, that, and the other. I didn't see it that way, so I planted it, and I turned out to be right. There's no better feeling in the world than being right.
Well, you got me on the celery too.
Yeah, and that was another one. I was told not to grow because it was going to take too much time. I was like, you know
Too
what?
many inputs, too much
Just
time,
watch.
too much water.
Just
No,
watch.
We need the real estate.
Don't listen to those dream
I
killers.
don't,
gotta
you know,
have
I
the real
didn't.
estate.
I listened to
Yeah.
the dream chaser, not the dream killers. So,
Yes.
so this fence bed right here, I started working on it shortly after the cinder block bed was complete. The idea is that it's going to have the two smaller ones at the ends will have some perennial flowers in it. It's just going to be a flower bed, is drawing more of these nice butterflies we have flapping around. And then the big long one is going to have all garlic in it. We're going to have strategically placed slats on the top of it to act as benches so people can also sit there. The boxes themselves have been made out of reclaimed pallets. You know, we just dismantled them, we cut the boards to size, hammered the stakes into the ground, and I just drilled all the boards back into them. We do have to put the back panels on. We're going to use new wood for that because the reclaimed pallets, while noble using recycled material, it is very time consuming. And we're also going to be pulling out all this Johnson grass and getting rid of it because it is not helping us at all. But yeah, this was the other big project I've been working on. Hopefully it'll be finished by the winter.
I'll say, Theo, that's a great example you have there, just to kind of push that whole urban ag piece where, you know, a couple $1,000s for materials at original cost.
Yeah.
So one end of how do we, you know, save money, then we have all the pallet dumping, then how do we repurpose?
Exactly.
But then, as Theo mentioned, as all growers will do, how do you strike that balance between, you know, these efficiencies of scale, and when do you get to the point that it's more time consuming than just buying something? So that's just like a regular exercise of upcycling, repurposing, but always trying to keep an eye on our time investment.
Yeah. That includes cleaning up all the things that I rip out of the ground. So yeah, we just, this is what we do on a daily basis. We navigate the messes I make and
That's a big pepper.
yeah,
Whoa,
and
yeah.
and harvest
Larger than mine.
peppers. I mean, we're getting another really good bumper crop of peppers this year. This was a really great year for our peppers.
Smells good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this amaretto basil, the bees just go crazy for it. They're starting to lose their flowers now, so maybe it's time to pull them. But and that's, you know, half my job is just determining what needs to go and what needs to be planted next. These peppers are still cranking out though, so
They are.
I was contemplating tearing them out next week. Now I'm contemplating leaving them a little bit longer.
And then your you know, just to lift up, Theo, your ingenuity, where the basil will be flower filler, the basil will be, of course, for any
Attracting
direct
pollinators,
sale,
yeah.
and then of course the beneficials. So just with urban ag, we're really, you know, just being able to get creative
Yeah.
with a lot of that diversity.
Yeah, maximizing the space is a big thing. You know, we just really can't let blank soil just sit there for too long. I mean, aside from the fact that it attracts weeds, it's just we don't have enough room to waste space. So we make the best of what we got.
Well, this is awesome. This is so awesome. So I wanted to just ask you guys, you've talked a lot about, you know, the history of the farm and your current projects and what you're doing. Where do you guys, what's the vision? Where do you guys see Greenleaf, you know, 5-10 years from now? What do you have in store? Or what are you excited about?
Well, you got a couple of things that we'll just at least point out. So of course, this is our primary plot. There's actually formerly about 7 vacant lots, but you know, we got some areas under construction over there. So where we're going to really get into a lot of indoor growing methods, where we're going to go in from, you know, hydro, aero, aqua, Dutch buckets, to really show children, show the community all the diversity of indoor growing methods and to increase our yields. But we'll also add another 30 by 72, you know, in ground to kind of extend the season. We'll have 4 more plots over there. We have outdoor classrooms, commercial kitchen. So it's really looking at how do we just really kind of diversify. That will be, 7 additional lots that we'll convert. So all of this is kind of ongoing to really make, again, the total is 30 vacant lots and about 4 abandoned buildings that are being repurposed. So one is currently the pack house. We'll go up and take a peek at the college dormitory. But all of this is really taking assets that were right under our feet all along, where we had quality land, solid tree stock, and just really trying to take what we have. And again, agriculture is, of course, a means and an end. So sell good food, the highest quality, being able to bring community in, raise a future generation of growers, and Theo mentioned the food desert realities. So there's so many bottom lines that we're up to. But yeah, we're excited about the future and all that will be to come.
What about you, Theo? What keeps you going? You've been here 5 years.
Yeah. Just putting the food on the people's plates. That's my thing. That's all I want to do. If I wanted to make money, I'd be in finance. That's not my thing. I just want to bring good food to good people. I want to help, raise up not just this neighborhood, but Memphis in general. There's a lot of hungry people in this city, and the more of them I can reach, the better. It starts in this neighborhood. If it goes beyond, that'd be great. I want to be able to, know that I'm making a positive impact in Memphis. Again, just helping people eat. That's my thing.
Well, thank you so much, Theo. I know you have to get back to work because you're the farmer, contractor.
gotta earn my keep.
Yeah, you're doing it all, and everything looks amazing. So great job. Yeah, it is. Yes.
Thank y'all very much. Y'all enjoy the rest of the tour. I'm gonna start weeding.
See you, Theo.
Yeah.
All right, Marlin. Let's see what else you got here.
Yeah, we'll head up this way. But again, just the pack house behind us where we converted it's about a little over 1,000 square feet, traditional home where that back bedroom was converted to a full walk-in cooler, 3-compartment sink, commercial green spinner. That was one of the assets. The second is this house here that's over to our right that we're going to convert to a college career technical education program. We have a high school culinary academy since 2013, starting a high school farm academy. So we'll get a chance to operate there. But what we'll unveil this year in January was actually college dormitory. So this 10 one-bedroom units apartment community, this was about 500 square feet per unit, and it was a challenge. I mean, we had families of 10 living in a one-bedroom. It was dilapidated. The owner could not get ahead of himself, practically gave it to us, and we just went on a mission where it's certified enterprise green, so we wanted to highlight our principles of sustainability, and it's a residence now for students that come and they want to live on community and to work right here on the farm. So they come, and for 15 hours a week, they get a chance to have free housing, free utilities, free Wi-Fi. It's fully furnished for that commitment. So we've targeted the big 4 in Memphis of our major colleges and universities, and they live here, but we're really proud of it as the community has really saw all the ebbs and flows of this property. It was a real challenge, but to see it now, we had so many positive responses from all of our neighbors about what this looks like now. So yeah, we're proud of it.
It's definitely beautiful. I wish I could live here. Do you have any vacancies? Any vacant units?
1 or 2 on the horizon. We can keep you in mind on. But yeah, we'll get a chance, and we can come back and let everyone take a peek on the inside. But it's a project that we're excited about. We went about a year at it, just continuing to draw resources, get folks excited. Volunteers gutted it out, saved us over 15 grand without anybody just start getting excited. That's the thing about community and volunteers, where we just start doing something. And we gutted out both levels, and about 64 panels that cover every window, every door. We turned into a huge art project with huge carrots on the east side near the farm. With this look like a full library on this side, but just staying busy, staying active, giving folks something to come alongside and dream with us. And yeah, now we have this end product. So
that's one of the things I love about Knowledge Quest and what you're doing is that you've found so many innovative ways to connect with the community. So, you know, you've told us about this housing project. What about the new store?
the store.
Yes,
You know,
let's
it's
hear all
always-
about the store.
Challenge is always to convert to opportunities. So, you know, that's really the big thing with this tour. From the vacant lots and the blight mitigation to, you know, challenging residential spots to this corner store that has been around. We've traced it back with neighbors to the 50s. And now, you know, from, you know, ebbs and flows of so many different owners and so many different challenging characters that have had the spot. We just got this store. We're excited about it. We've long owned the lot right next door to it. But the vision is we're looking at, you know, co-op models to have neighborhood level ownership in the store. Neighbors want an idea of a delicatessen, so we're seeing how our culinary students will have fresh prep items. But again, it's going to be the same principle as the farm. You know, we want the highest quality of food prep. You know, we also say trust your farmer. We say trust your farmer but verify, you know, so we want it to be USDA certified organic for what it represents. We want it to show that we're willing to put the work in, that the knowledge and innovation is happening in urban ag, and we really wanted to be able to show our neighbors, you know, that we can express our value in them by having the highest growing quality standards and to really express it every day. It'll be the same for the store. You know, we want to have, of course, we have all the organic produce inside, but we want free-range chicken. We want grass-fed beef on the inside. And the whole principle is, how do we bring these two extremes together where we are ranked #1 in all the wrong areas in this neighborhood, but how do we bring those extremes where quality usually follows the pocketbook, but how do we, you know, really turn that pyramid upside down and bring the very best right here in urban pockets like where we are in South Memphis. And, you know, hopefully we can develop something where across our county, we have about 4,000 vacant lots that are blighted and need mitigation. We have, you know, hundreds of square miles of vacant land in Memphis. So can we take, you know, our little corner of the world and maybe be a model for Memphis, for the broader nation of how we can, you know, we can change things around through agriculture.
Well, you guys are definitely leading the way. You know, can you tell us a little bit about where you see the future of ag and food, urban ag and food security, and how can Greenleaf be a catalyst, you know, for urban ag in Memphis?
I think we get to the principles of agriculture around, you know, the bottom lines, you know, that, you know, even if you have multiple bottom lines like we do, you know, everybody wants to be efficient. Everybody wants to, you know, honor conservation standards. That leads to efficiency and to cost savings. You know, people have a passion when you wake up and do this every day. So everyone has a passion for putting food on tables. And I think what we're up to, you know, here in Memphis and our region, with big ag folks and urban ag folks really coming together and really accentuating, you know, all those qualities, you know, and character traits that we all share. There are some foundational truths in ag, no matter where you find it. And I think that's our real power. You know, we want to be a servant to the urban ag side. We love learning and drawing from, you know, our friends that have been doing this on larger scales. And again, even here, you know, there were two of our elders, you know, they were in their late 60s. One was in his 70s, you know, but they had all this ag experience. So they're bringing their big ag experience from their youth to this urban ag context. So it's all connected. And we just want to, you know, be a servant to the process and see what we can learn, see what we can share within this movement.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Well, we definitely appreciate you, Marlin. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this farm tour as much as we did. There's some great stuff going on right here in South Memphis. one of the most impoverished communities in Memphis and the nation, and they are one of two organic certified farms, and they're doing so many awesome things. They've rallied the community. They are in full support. The community is in full support of what they're doing. They're very connected, and I think that they are leading the way and showing us, how this urban ag thing really should be done. So thank you so much, Marlin. On behalf of Ag Launch, thank you guys for watching and sharing this experience with us, and we hope to see you at the next field day.
Yeah, and I want to add to what Jade said. Thanks again. Thank you for having us here. When you get done watching this tour, we have 4 videos that will also be posted looking at other examples on how ag and food can work to transform the communities that we serve. And so this is a great example. Thank you. This is awesome work. Look forward to building the partnership and even thinking about filling up this store with stuff from the overall farmer network. It's going to be a great way to connect this whole network. If you have not gone through the website, besides the video, we have posted all the different farmers, and that itself is astounding. You've been on a lot of those calls that we have: urban, rural, large, small, all moving around these principles of thinking about crop diversity. How do we improve our communities? How do we think about agriculture in a new way? So again, thank you. It's been a great day, and we appreciate you joining us for the field tour. Thank you.